The Rivera Journals. The previous homeowner's journals. Hello everyone. I recently purchased a new home. It's newly renovated and in a prime location. However, the previous homeowners left the house a mess apparently. They were in a rush and left a lot of their crap behind. While tossing out their stuff, some notebooks, scraps of paper, and other junk fell out of a box, and you can say curiosity got the best of me. I decided to read through some of it. The first couple of notepads were filled with notes and electrical stuff. I guess the previous owner was an electrician or something. However, right before I was ready to call it quits and toss it all out, I came across a notebook with a short story in it. I noticed that throughout all the notebooks and pads, there were random jots and blurbs. Some of the writing is rushed and hard to read, but as I pieced this story together, I decided I'd share it here. It's all a mess, though a lot of writing was probably done in the spur of the moment. Sadly, we never got to meet the sellers at closing, so we won't be able to give this back. They apparently had already left the state before we closed. Anyway, I'll be releasing the story as I compile it. Let me know what you think, and if you think you know the authors, please let me know. I'd love to return their work. Anyway, here it is. Chapter 1: The Dream. My cheeks twitched slightly as the black haze of sleep started to lift. A soft groan left my throat as I stretched my neck to a more comfortable position. I heard my wife moving as well, the comfortable shuffling sound that bed sheets make. She just couldn't seem to get comfortable though, as the grogginess cleared up and sleep was leaving me entirely. "Are you okay?" I mumbled, putting my arm around her, annoyed that my sleep was ruined. My waking ears kept twitching as they focused in on the sound. It was a soft shuffling sound, swish pull step, swish pull step. Maybe my wife Selene was going to the bathroom, I thought, as I gently tightened my arms around her warm, tender frame. My eyes jutted open, and my body tensed. I felt my skin crawl as my brain shocked itself awake. My mind began spinning with realization. Even if she was shuffling to the bathroom, our master bathroom is right here, right in front of the bed. That isn't much of a walk. And she's lying right next to me, in my arms, gently snoring, not moving a single inch. My ears zoned in. Was this a mouse? An animal? No, this wasn't a mouse. It wasn't any kind of small animal. I don't have to be an audio expert with perfect hearing to know that this noise is not animalistic at all. After a few seconds, I realized we were being burglarized. Someone was in my home right now at this very moment. My home is a ranch. Everything is one floor. Selene and I are first-time homeowners and have been living here in perfect suburbia for 5 months, a stark contrast to our chaotic environment in the city. The house is practically open concept, with a hallway from the living room leading straight to our master bedroom. Admittedly, most sounds breaking the silence tend to scare us in our newfound environment. Our refrigerator loves popping out random ice cubes like mini gunshots, and Selene's been having it the hardest with random noises. This wouldn't be the first time something crazy has happened to us. And now I heard what sounded like shuffling in the living room. The creak and groan of our wood floors matched with the constant slow footsteps. It sounded like someone was searching around for something in short distances, an item that kept eluding them. I heard the pillows on the couch bump around and the coffee table move as my ears continued to zone in. My heart started to pound heavily, and I felt a tightness around my chest. Slowly, and as quietly as possible, I leaned over to my nightstand and opened it to grab my handgun. As panic continued to swell in my chest, my wife started shifting and waking up, whether due to me or the intruder I don't know, and I quickly shushed her with my hand over her mouth. She's feisty and immediately gave me an angry look, probably more upset to be jarred awake. Selene tends to jump to conclusions without thinking, a headstrong woman with a strong personality, but she's also an amazing partner and knows exactly what to do when I'm serious. She motions to speak, but stays quiet once she notices the gun in my hand. There's someone in our living room, or at least I think. I whisper as lowly as I can, slowly and quietly, heading over to unlock the bedroom door. I carefully opened the door, leaving it slightly ajar to avoid making noise, and made my way down the hallway. My wife was sitting on the bed with her phone in hand, probably calling the police. In hindsight, I should have stayed in the bedroom and let the police handle this situation, however. I can be quite a brave idiot. My heart was pounding hard as the warm sensation of blood rushed to my face. Growing up in the city, I found myself in many dangerous situations, but I never could have realized how much more terrifying it was to have an intruder in your home in the early morning. As I crept closer, I saw the hunched back of a figure wearing a black tank top and baggy black shorts. My coffee table blocked the view from his calves down. The figure had pale white skin, seemingly Caucasian, maybe even albino, and its bent-over frame had its hands in the crevices of my couch. It wore either a tight black beanie or maybe it had a thick busket. The distance was too far to be certain. I wondered what it expected to find in my couch. Certainly it wasn't looking for dust bunnies or loose change. Slowly walking closer, I aimed my firearm at the intruder. The floor creaked under me. He stood up quickly, startled, his head whipping in my direction to look directly at me as the rest of him slowly turned around. As he turned, everything about him seemed to shift, almost shimmering in the light streaming through the bay window blinds, as if he was made out of fine silver-colored sand. His pale skin tone shimmered to a tan tone, and a tattoo morphed on his chest and arms, mimicking the same tattoos on my upper body. I froze, staring at my doppelganger. His body was no longer albino in a black outfit, but instead was shirtless, wearing sweatpants, with my messy bedhead and hairline, and holding something. I faced myself. I was holding a firearm, and he was holding what I perceived to be a firearm, but something about it looked off. I took a step. I took a step. I walked toward him. He did the same. I stopped a short distance away, and he mimicked me. My chest pounded as my reflection's face grew slightly red. I can only imagine that was how I looked. My breathing was calm yet heavy. So was his, but without the sound of breaths being taken. I took a step backward, aimed at him, and he mimicked each movement until he backed into the coffee table and fell. I took this opportunity and fired off 6 bullets into him, 5 making their mark. I almost feared I might feel the pain myself. My wife ran down the hall to see the scene unfolding. "Please tell me you're seeing what I'm seeing," I pleaded. My wife confirmed my sanity. "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what the hell is that? What the hell is this? What is going on? Calm down," my mirror image screamed, and I fired 2 more rounds into him. The silence stood heavy in the air. "That was not your voice," my wife stated as we watched blood pour out of him, more like sand flowing out of a vial than liquid. My body lurched forward as my name, Cashin, screamed out. My neck was punctured by 2 rows of teeth, and my doppelganger was standing back up. Fear immediately struck my heart as I went to grab the being behind me, and beep, 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 my morning alarm was going off. My heart was pounding, my body soaked in sweat. My wife groaned, "Turn off the alarm, Cashin." I turned off the alarm and stood up, the pounding in my chest dissipating as I realized that all I went through was a vivid dream. I checked the magazine to my firearm and counted 15 bullets. All was well, just a horrible dream. I went to the bathroom, washed my face, and wrote every detail I remembered down as my wife woke up. I began telling Selene about the dream as I jotted it down in my brown notepad. Reliving it through speech actually helped with jotting everything down. "That's got to mean something. Maybe we should play the lottery," Selene joked as she went to shower. Selene. She believes in astrology, mythical things, and that rocks and essential oils can influence a person or put them to sleep, but she won't believe me. We got prepared for work. I normally work remotely, but today I was heading down to Philadelphia for a survey. As I put my coat on and made my way toward the kitchen to make my morning coffee before heading to my car, I decided to take a moment and stare into the living room. Everything looked utterly normal. Nothing changed. No evidence of an attack, nothing. Until something shiny caught my eye, and that, my friends, is what he has written down on the first page of this notebook. The next pages seem to be notes jotted down for an office in 16th and Market Street. No idea where that's at, though. If you'd like to hear more of this story, Let me know. I think it's kind of creepy because I can personally visualize it a bit since, I live here and obviously this house was his inspiration. Edit. Hey, I decided to peek around the living room, and I noticed a hole in the floor. It looks to be patched by some wood putty and refinished. I don't know. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but could bullet holes be that easy to fix? I never owned a gun before. I only know about them from movies. Maybe it's actually just a knot in the wood, and I'm being paranoid. I think I'll be reading a bit more of these journals in case this is something else. I don't know, let me know what you think. I'll put a picture in the comments or something when I get a chance.